Thank you guys so much for being here today. As you can see, we are going to at least turn dirt ceremoniously on a project that has already begun construction, which I am thrilled about. We had a post-Katrina Youth Study Center that for years had not been functioning at capacity and had been functioning in unacceptable conditions. The treatment of juveniles 5 years ago was harsh. They were confined to cells for most of the day. There were excessive use of shackles, limited daily structure. They were served a limited, unbalanced diet, and the YSC personnel had limited training. The city had entered into a consent decree to begin to address these problems, both on the state level and on the city level. And today we are announcing that the city has completely met the terms of this particular consent decree, and as of January 17th. So the city is moving forward to come into compliance with the best practices in juvenile justice. I'm thrilled to be joined by a number of juvenile judges who have been working very hard with us, not only on this facility, but on the day-to-day operations and on making sure that juvenile justice reform is implemented in the city of New Orleans. This is a $32 million, 59,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility, which will be opened by the summer of 2014. The nation will soon look to this facility as a new standard in juvenile justice. This project is the result, like every major success in the city recently, of a collaboration between the city, FEMA, the community, and economic development bonds. I said many times that when we started rebuilding the city, we weren't going to build it back like it was. We were going to build it the way we thought she always should be. When I first came into office, the city had, at that point in time, negotiated a reimbursement from FEMA for $11 million. That was not adequate. And the design of this particular structure was not something that was comprehensive. And we went back to the drawing board with FEMA, with the federal government, with the Justice Department, and we were able to generate not $11 million, but $32 million to build a state-of-the-art wraparound facility. This is going to be the permanent home for city secure detention for boys and girls who are under 18 years of old. It will replace the temporary youth study center that was opened after Katrina. It will support a 24-hour-a-day operations and provisions for best practices. It will house 40 youths. It will have a state-of-the-art security system with open design housing components for detainees. It will have a fully equipped kitchen to provide juvenile justice dietary services, flexible housing components allowing population shifts and gender separation. It will have a centralized sally port spaces to accommodate in-house and incoming juveniles. It will have spaces to maintain separations of victims from perpetrators and special waiting areas for family-related accompanants. It will also be the new home for the Orleans Parish Juvenile Court. It will include new courtrooms, judges' offices, and administrative spaces, offices for juvenile-related services for the district attorney and the public defender, a dedicated space for CINC attorneys and social workers, spaces to accommodate outside counsel for court-related issues. And it is part of our successful crime-fighting operations as it relates to NOLA for Life, one of the most important components of which is to invest in prevention first. This new facility will help turn around a lot of young children whose lives are at risk. On top of all of this, this is part of the overall rebuilding for the city of New Orleans. Just in this particular area, in the St. Bernard area, the McDonough 35 school will have a $55 million reconstruction take place. Columbia Park, formerly known as St. Bernard Projects, was $190 million in investment. The NOPD temporary police stables that are not far from here, $1 million in construction. The NOP permanent police stables, $3 million. City Park Festival Grounds, the Gurnon Brown Gym, the Museum of Art, and the St. Bernard Avenue I-610 Fillmore exit, $3.2 million. Paris Avenue streetscapes and recovery roads on St. Bernard, another $500,000. Another major investment in this area of the city that is not promised, but is ongoing as we speak. And as you can see, not only on this facility, but next door, this entire area is under construction. The thing that I'm most thrilled about as it relates to this project is how we all came together and how we all designed a wraparound facility that should be a state-of-the-art facility, not just for New Orleans and the state of Louisiana, but the nation as a whole. This also, again, was an unbelievable cooperation between FEMA and the Department of Justice, which doesn't happen all that often. But in this instance, again, we turned an $11 million inferior thought and design into a $32 to $34 million state-of-the-art wraparound project that we think is going to be a model for the nation. So I want to thank everybody for all of their work.